Everyone, GTech Finance here. So Donald Trump just spoke for the first time since Inauguration Day. He spoke a little over an hour and a half after starting about an hour and 10 minutes late. A little bit of delay at the start of the event, but Donald Trump did have a lot of things to cover. I'm going to go through some of the most salient takeaways. Obviously, I'm not going to hit everything here, but I'm going to hit the most salient ones. And so Donald Trump started out his speech by talking about how we win in the end. He really sets up how the people watching will win again. And he makes it very clear that his mission is to oppose radical Democrats, the mainstream media, and toxic cancel culture, which the cancel culture part is that one's been recently added, not something that has been part of his rhetoric until more recently. And since he really hasn't been in the public eye for the last 6 weeks, this is sort of bringing light to this. Now, then he does say, I'm going to continue to fight by your side. He's kind of implying that he's not going to fade away like some people said, though Donald Trump might lose and just fade away and disappear. He then makes it very clear, and this is counter to what the Wall Street Journal reported on January 19th. Now, whether we believe the journal's reporting or not, the Wall Street Journal did say on January 19th that Donald Trump was considering starting a Patriot Party. That there were discussions about having a Patriot Party as of January 19th. The day before inauguration, Donald Trump here kind of flipped that script a little bit and said, we are not going to start a new party. Why would we? We have a great party, a great one, the Republicans, and sort of put a nail in the coffin of starting a new party, and instead reinvigorated the Republican Party, which makes sense. Before Donald Trump began to speak, I thought a bit about how Donald Trump or the Republican Party in general is gonna react to it. If they seek to win, they need to pull the country together. They need to unify, or at least Republicans together need to unify right now, because for the last 6 weeks they've been a little bit splintered. We had Mitch McConnell kind of disappearing from power. We've got Ted Cruz that's speaking a lot, and Mitt Romney. For that, we really haven't had sort of a unified approach to pulling the Republican Party together. Certainly we had Kevin McCarthy who visited him, but other than that, we haven't really had anything going up from the Republican Party. And McCarthy said, 2 days ago, I regret to inform you the swamp is coming, which is definitely echoing to Trump's slogan back in 2016. Mitch McConnell endorsed Donald Trump just a few days ago in terms of fighting here in primaries and possibly even in running for 2024. He says, despite Mitch McConnell having slammed Donald Trump for the events that unfolded on January 6th at the Capitol. But anyway, Donald Trump goes on to say, hey, we're not starting a new party. We're going to use this party because this party is great. Then Donald Trump goes into talking about Joe Biden's failures in the first month. He talks about how this has been the most disastrous first month of any president in modern history. He complains about windmills, how they don't work and they freeze and they kill birds. He says that we need to focus on jobs and families, and we can't be anti-jobs, anti-family like Joe Biden is being. He says we have a crisis on the southern border and Biden wants everything to go to hell. Double hockey sticks. He says we can't afford the problems of the rest of the world. We have to focus on the United States. And he gives that as a reason for why he withdrew from the WHO, suggesting why is that we're paying hundreds of millions of dollars a year for the WHO and China's paying tens of millions of dollars, precisely 500 million for the USA and 39 million for China. That doesn't seem fair. Donald Trump also says this is sort of a larger bomb that he dropped. He says Democrats will lose the White House 4 years from now. And who knows, maybe I'll win for a third time. He says this is a very clear indication that Donald Trump is still doubling down on the belief that 2020 was a win for him and it was a fraudulent election. And the first win is obviously the one of 2016, which I'll probably say 95% of people think we agree 2016 was a Trump win. 2020 is disputed, but then there's 2024 when Donald Trump's definition would be a third win. He mentions also that Biden has radical immigration policies that are basically going to lead people to come pouring into the country, and talks very, very, very briefly about the stimulus package. It's interesting how briefly he touches on the stimulus package. He says, look, there's this $1.9 trillion package we predicted he was going to say. It just provides bailout money for a badly run states. That's the line that Donald Trump used. We predicted he was going to slam that. I thought he was going to at least say something about the 1,400 stimulus checks because of them not doing the full 2,000 rather than breaking it into 600 then 1,400, or about unemployment or child tax credit or at all. Instead, he said bailout money, blue state bailout money. You don't know how to run your states. New York, California, no, this is bailout money for them. And he talks about 1.5 million vaccine doses administered on January 19th. A big slam on what Biden said on the campaign trail, where Biden was saying on the campaign, hey, we want to try to get 1 million people vaccinated per day. And Donald Trump here saying, hey, 1.5 million were vaccinated in my final day. Now, he didn't make that clear connection. I'm making that to you, but it's basically a way of slamming him yet again. I should say this is a quote here. It says, I predicted Biden would be incompetent. Unfortunately, he has proven me right. And he says that Biden must have forgotten that he got his COVID shot, but apparently it's not so painful and you should get your COVID shot too. But this is, by the way, the first time that Donald Trump actually endorsed getting the vaccine. From what we know, Donald Trump has not taken the vaccine. I imagine he still has antibodies, but then again, some folks say that it only lasts 3 months. So in theory, Donald Trump should probably take the vaccine if that's the case. But I'm not taking a side on that. The fact that Donald Trump said, quote, everybody go get your shot, is probably the biggest endorsement Donald Trump has given to this shot so far. It's something he has not done before while he was president. And then he talks about a lot about energy and uses Texas as an example, the blackouts. He's a big believer that natural gas is cleaner and actually has the capacity to do what we need to do, power our country, and says, look, hey, why do we have to be focused on climate change when Russia and China are dumping pollutants into the environment? Now remember, I just want to be very clear here. I'm presenting this from just a sort of reporting point of view. I'm just saying what Donald Trump said, not taking left, right sides, just in the center. I'll add a little bit of commentary here, but I just want to give you a summary of what he said because it's a long speech. He also slams solar power for not having the efficiency, which is true. Solar has like a 20 efficiency in the future. If solar can get its efficiency up, I think everybody's going to have solar in his house. Solar efficiency might be good in states like California and Florida, sunny states, but maybe not quite. But anyway, Donald Trump hits solar and he hits on wind, says that natural gas is cleaner, has the capacity to do what we need to do. He says that democratic priorities are taking our energy dependence away. He didn't directly talk about this, but he's basically slamming Biden for ending the Keystone Pipeline XL partnership with Canada. That's one of the first things Biden did via executive orders, and also banning fracking on federal lands. These are things that Biden said he was going to do while he was on the campaign trail. Donald Trump is using this as an opportunity to say that prices of energy are going to skyrocket in the United States under Biden. Donald Trump also touches on transgender sports and suggests that transgender sports will end up meaning that women's sports will die. Because why would a coach pick a biological woman rather than a biological man who pretends to be a woman for women's teams? It's an argument Trump makes. Donald Trump reiterates, we won the election twice. And he says the goal is to create a future of good jobs, safe communities, and a great nation. We're committed to defending the Christian life and upholding the values of our Constitution. We reject the left-wing lunacy and cancel culture. We want to stand up to China, bring our factories and supplies back to America. By the way, Biden also has been talking tough on China lately. And we weren't really sure if this was just a campaign rhetoric to try to match Donald Trump's enthusiasms for being tough on China. But this is something that Biden has been talking about recently. Though bringing supply chains fully back to the United States is not only difficult in some cases, but extremely expensive. Especially as we're trying to push towards electric vehicle cars. It's difficult to actually get vehicles, manufactured to the requirements that Biden wants all in the US because the price of them can be through the roof. Anyway, we'll see how that develops. Donald Trump reiterates also his election win in 2020, complains about the Supreme Court. Obviously, this is heavily disputed. YouTube, please do not delist this video, even though it doesn't bring a lot of views, probably 2 or 3, but still. So he reiterates we need strong leadership. He says Democrats stick together, but their policies are no good. Hence, you have the Republican Party. He talks about defund the police, how that's a big mistake, and Democrats rallied around that themselves have also been critical of other Democrats talking about defunding the police. He says we need to stick together. So Donald Trump says Republicans need to stick together, and Republicans have to be careful of rhinos. He says, I'm reading the quote, that's why I keep saying we, because he says we are surrounded by rhinos that will destroy our country. And rhinos stands for Republicans in name only. He says the vision is simple: great education, great borders, great military. Then he states that Donald Trump's endorsement is deemed the most powerful asset in politics, which is kind of echoing to, hey, if you want to win as Republican in 2022 midterms, you better get on Donald Trump's good side and maybe come visit the golf course every so often, come back to Mar-a-Lago, Florida from time to time. If you can funnel money through Donald Trump and the Trump campaign, and then the Trump campaign can essentially donate to, their preferred, contestants or people running for office, right? Or Donald Trump could say, hey, if you donate to my campaign, I'll endorse you, and then donations can go to that person through Donald Trump. And he's trying to be the tip of that funnel, so to speak. The money, right, come to Donald Trump and then be distributed to the candidates where it should go. So I did find it interesting that Donald Trump's website, which is donaldjtrump.com. This is his campaign website right in front of me. So if you look at it, it's Trump Pence. It says join our movement, ask for contributions. You've got Donald holding merchandise here, and then you have the merchandise store made in USA, and there's no official announcement of Donald Trump other than implications of Donald Trump's run in 2024. These are implications that he'll run again, and I did think it was very interesting that at the bottom you have paid for by Donald J. Trump for President, Inc. If you go in this website, you Google it, look at Donald J. Trump for President.Inc., you do get the Make America Great Again, CPAC Political Action Committee, which obviously has a great history. This is from 2015, 2016 till now. And it was, I don't know if it's some kind of rebranding, who knows? I mean, that could have been easily said paid for by the former president of the United States, Donald Trump. So it's an interesting little hint that was left here. Donald Trump does end up by sort of leaving off by saying that a Republican president will make a triumphant return in 2024. And then he says, and I wonder who that will be. Sort of lingers on, I wonder who that will be, which what's really interesting is Obama back in the days in 2016 said, I wonder who that will be, referring to who the president will be. And it was the Democrat candidate Hillary Clinton. And he was becoming president. And that is actually very clear because Obama said, I wonder who she will be. So bluntly making it clear that Obama was referring to Hillary becoming president. And I think it's interesting that here's Trump using almost exactly that same now famous phraseology from Obama and kind of applying it to himself as this final line of his speech. I wonder who that will be. It will be interesting little fun fact there at the end. So Dow Jones up and the S&P also up about 0.5%, volatility index about 3% down. So we're seeing some green back at the stock market. Hopefully it's a sign of a good week for it. So folks, this is what Donald Trump said. It's a quick summary of what he said at the CPAC conference. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hope to see you guys next time.